Okay, guys, for today's video, you're actually gonna have to look at the video when I read sometimes, because there's yoga poses, and I'm gonna put the picture of the yoga poses in the video so you guys know you can like imagine you and Tom Holland doing the yoga poses. That's such a weird sentence to say. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this video. It's definitely an interesting one. I really like it. It's just like, oh, and the ending. The ending is like, oh, it's like, yeah. So when you read it or listen to it, I mean, I don't know. Maybe you do both. You read along with it. When you get into it, you're gonna be like, oh, okay, I like this one. Make sure to go support the author because we love authors in this community, and the music and the fanfiction are both linked in the description below if you want to go check either of those out. Please do. And I hope you guys enjoy this video. Also, if you feel like it, you can just click that subscribe button. I mean, it's like right there. But if you don't, that is totally okay. I'm not in it for the subscribers, baby. I'm in it for the fiction. The fan fiction. I sound like Matt Pat. And wait, and that's just a fiction. A fan fiction. And boom. Okay, let's get into this video, guys. I'll see you at the end of it. Alright. Hello everyone, I'm Tom Holland. Tom opened the video. And I'm seriously wondering why I keep agreeing to do stuff like this. You quipped. Tom gave you a fond look at your familiar banter. Because you had such a great time last time, you wanted to do it again, Tom said to you. Sound familiar? You shot Tom a look for playing dirty. He was of course referring to your first date. Your chemistry was so potent that your second date was planned with an hour into the first one. Tom had teased you that night for being so eager to plan another one, but he was secretly planning your third and fourth in his head, so it all evened out. Hell, the boy was already imagining what flowers would line the altars at your wedding. Roses, for those wondering, to match your perfume. But the third date never happened. Not after the events of the second one. It had gone perfectly, just like the first one had. He pulled out your chair for you, held your hand, made you blush, all the things he should. He was funny and smart and sweet. You couldn't have been more enchanted with him. At the end of the night, Tom walked you to your doorstep like a true gentleman. He started to lean in for the kiss, and you did too. At the last minute, a flash of a camera caught your attention. You panicked thinking it was paparazzi and pulled him into a hug instead. It ended up being your neighbor's camera, but the damage was already done. You still cringe at the memory of his hesitant hug back. You cursed yourself for not kissing him that night. It made things awkward between the two of you today. Not at all, you shot back. I'm Elle, and since you guys liked the plank all over me challenge for some reason, we were asked to come back and do the yoga challenge. I also enjoyed the plank all over me challenge, Tom piped up with a cheeky grin. You were glad he was acting normal for the camera. You only hoped he wasn't hurting on the inside. Yeah, I think you enjoyed it a little more than me. You matched his flirty banter with your own. I was gonna say enjoyed it a lot more than you, but sure. Tom shrugged with a happy smile. I guess that can be said about a lot of things, Tom muttered, just loud enough for you to hear. You felt your heart sink. He was referring to the date again. He thought you didn't enjoy it? To the best of your ability, you tried to silently tell him with your eyes that you loved the date. You just got too scared to kiss him. Can we get started so this can end faster? Please? You pretended to beg the crew. Tom laughed and bit his lip as he admired you in your cute little pink yoga outfit. You wore pink sweatbands and wristbands to match each other, a decision you made on your own with no crew involved. From his side, he wasn't mad at you. He was just upset that you didn't feel the same way he did. That didn't stop him from finding you gorgeous, and definitely didn't stop him from wanting you. Here's your first pose. A crew member turned a laptop around to show you the following image. That's the first pose? What's the second pose, third base? You asked in shock. There was no way you were gonna achieve that position. God, I hope so. Tom laughed. He suddenly got serious and pointed to the camera. I'm kidding. Respect women. He laughed until he added under his breath, You haven't even got to first base, making your face fall. Someone get me out of here. You kept up your act of hating being there as you prepared to recreate the pose. Come on, we can totally do this one. Tom clapped and got on his back. Give me your hands. This man just wants to hold my hand, he teased. Yes, and? Tom joked, making you roll your eyes before giving him your hands. You should get on my feet while my knees are bent, and then I'll lift you, okay? You sound like you speak from experience. You poke fun at him as you laced your fingers with Tom's. You couldn't ignore how right it felt to be with him in that way. Well, if my acting career failed, I was gonna be a yoga instructor, Tom said simply while concentrating on keeping you steady. Really? You asked in surprise. No. Tom laughed as you rested your tummy on the bottom of his socked feet. You held on tightly to his hands and pushed yourself off the ground so you were hovering over him. Do you feel secure? Tom asked. Not in the slightest, he quipped. Then up you go. Tom smiled as he straightened his legs, lifting you fully off the ground. Both your bodies shook before you slipped a little, causing you to grip Tom's hand as hard as you could. There, I got you, love, Tom said softly as he slowly straightened his legs again. I won't let you fall, don't worry, he assured you. He spoke so softly that you knew in your heart it wasn't for the cameras. He showed a genuine concern for you that made your heartbeat quicken. Or maybe that was due to the fact that you were suspended in the air over an incredibly suave and handsome Brit. Is this it? Are we doing it? Tom said in a strained voice. You were so caught up in his charm that you hadn't realized you actually did the pose. You got it, a crew member gave you a thumbs up. Tom carefully let you down and stood up, still holding your hand. You bit back a smile and he pretended not to notice. Next pose, the crew member called. You leaned against Tom's shoulder as he studied the next position you had to get into. I don't know about this one, he sighed against his shoulder. We can do it, Tom said confidently. There is no way you can keep yourself up. You shook your head and raised your eyebrow at Tom to taunt him. He accepted your challenge with a smirk. Yes, I can, he defended. Look at these biceps. Tom once again flexed his biceps for you, and you once again felt it. You pretended to be unimpressed. No, you're gonna fall. You sighed sarcastically to push him even more. Can totally keep myself up, Tom said firmly. You couldn't even keep all 13 colonies. You bit your tongue between your teeth to keep from laughing at the shock that crossed Tom's face. Wow. Tom touched a hand to his chest and pretended to be offended. He then leaned in to whisper in her ear. First she doesn't let me kiss her, and then she insults my heritage. Ouch. Sorry. He chirped and gave him a sickly sweet smile. About both things. He couldn't resist the urge to grin before getting into a plank. Just get on my back and then I'll lift myself up, okay? Tom said. Are you sure you've never done this? You accused again, making Tom smile to himself. Positive, love, he said. I spend all my free time reading How to Pick Up Girls for Dummies. How's that working out for you? You asked as you held onto his ankles. Pretty well, I'd say, Tom remarked as he literally picked you up to complete the pose. You rolled your eyes at his humor and straightened your arms. Quit looking at my ass! Tom suddenly snapped. I'm not, you protested. I know, but you should be, Tom said with a smirk. You're at its best angle. I don't even want to know how you know that. You grumbled as Tom let you down. He stood up and straightened his shirt before looking into the camera. For the record, when I first tried on the Spider-Man suit, I was surrounded by mirrors. Tom informed the room. So yes, I know all my angles. All of them. Next one, you asked the crew to drive the conversation away from Tom's ass. The crew showed you an image and your jaw dropped. This one looks easy. We just gotta get on our knees and put our pelvises together and lean back. Tom shrugged at its simplicity. We can't do that pose. You shook your head in fear. Why not? Tom asked. I'll get pregnant? You said as if it were obvious. Tom burst out laughing at your words. Pregnant? I haven't even kissed you yet, Tom reminded you, making your cheeks flush. Yet? You raised an eyebrow and gave him a suggestive grin as you both got on your knees. Tom gripped your hips and pulled you close. Oh, mark my words, Elle. I will get that kiss. Tom whispered into your ear before leaning all the way back. You did the same until a crew member said you could stop. Last one, they said, and showed you the image. Okay, for this pose, it looks like you do a plank and then I do a handstand in front of you and place my feet on your lower back. You mapped out your plan for the pose. Tom listened intently to your words. And then we kiss, Tom nodded along. No, you laugh in surprise. They're kissing in the picture, he pointed at the screen. They were in fact kissing in the picture. That's not part of the pose, you protested. Wait a minute. Are these couple poses? Did you just figure that out? Tom laughed at how naive you were to the concept of the video. You knew? You gasped. Of course I knew. Why do you think I agreed to do this? Tom joked as he got into a plank. You stood over him and slowly put your hands on the ground in front of his head. I just figured you loved yoga, you replied as you bent over his face. Figures he's even cuter upside down. No, I love... Tom trailed off and shook his head. Yeah, yoga's great. I love yoga. Do you? You giggled as you kicked yourself up into a handstand and rested your feet on his back. Tom looked up and you were suddenly mere centimeters from each other's lips. You could see why the couple polished their pose off with a kiss. You were in perfect position for a classic Spider-Man kiss. The shy blush on Tom's face let you know he was thinking the exact same thing. Can't get enough, actually, Tom said with a cheeky grin. I'd do yoga all day if I could, he remarked as he wiggled his eyebrows. Again with the innuendos? I cannot catch a break. You groaned as he got off of Tom and laid on the ground to face him. He lowered himself onto the ground and rolled next to you. You gave him a soft smile. Hi, stranger, you said lowly so the camera wouldn't hear. It wasn't for them. It was all for him. How yourself? Tom spoke in the same gentle tone. You know, if the cameras weren't here, I would've what? Tom cut you off. Done exactly what you did the last time the cameras weren't there? He asked a little bitterly before getting up. You sighed before getting up yourself. He was hurt, and it was your fault. You shouldn't have made that comment. He probably felt like you were ashamed to be seen with him. First the dodge kiss in front of your house, and now this. Tom didn't have to say anything for you to know he was hurting. You've blown it, completely and truly. This has been the Yoga Challenge with Tom Holland. Tom pointed to you with a fake smile. You swallowed and put on a fake smile of your own. Indel, thanks for watching and we'll see you next time. You waved to the camera. If there is a next time. Tom shrugged with the same frozen smile. Because sometimes you think there will be and then there isn't. Awkward silence filled the studio when no one knew what to say in response to Tom's comment. The crew had no idea what he was talking about, thus making your entire face burn with embarrassment. Well, goodbye everybody. He gave a friendly wave until the cameras cut away. Tom walked off set without a word to you. You watched him heartbroken as he walked away before sulking off set as well. You sat in your dressing room just staring at yourself in the mirror as you wallowed in self-pity. Last time you were in your dressing room all alone, Tom came to ask you out for the first date. You had a sickening feeling he wouldn't be coming around this time. Just as you were ready to pack up and go home, there was a knock on your door. Hey, Tom said sheepishly as you opened the door. You rested your head against the door and gave him a grateful smile. Hey, you said back. No further conversation ensued. Oh, my favorite. Awkward silence, Tom said after what felt like hours. You grimaced and looked down. Sorry, you answered. And then you didn't say anything else. You'd been on 2 dates with this man, planked over this man, and done couples yoga in matching sweatbands with this man, and all you could think to say to him was sorry. No, that's actually why I'm here. I wanted to apologize for how I acted during the video, Tom said sincerely to your surprise. You don't owe me anything. Not a kiss, a date, an explanation, nothing. I'm sorry I acted like I was entitled to more of you than you were willing to give me. Tom, you sighed. Now he was apologizing when it was you who made things awkward. You should have just kissed him that night, no matter who saw. I don't know what to say. Can you start with telling me what happened on our last date? I thought it went perfectly, and then I tried to kiss you and you just... Tom imitated your awkward hug with himself, and you laughed sadly. I panicked, you admitted. Because you didn't want to kiss me. He asked in a way that showed he was upset with the truth, but he had accepted it. Because I really wanted to kiss you. You promised. Tom pricked up and cocked his head. Is this girl logic? I have 3 brothers, darling. Girl logic goes over my head like a summer breeze, he said in defeat. I don't know how to explain it. I'm sorry. You twisted your fingers around before giving your hair a stressful tug. Do you not like me? At least, not in the way I like you, Tom asked, making you feel like you were in elementary school again. Of course I like you. You're sweet and funny and charming. You smile as you listed his qualities, and he smiled too. And weirdly good at yoga. About that, I may or may not have been practicing, Tom confessed. Why? You wondered. To impress you, he admitted. All I ever want to do is impress you. You don't need yoga for that, you chuckled softly. I like you exactly as you are. You felt yourself slipping back into how it used to be with Tom. The icy awkwardness was melting away, and the warm feeling of affection was coming through. So why didn't you kiss me? Tom asked the question that'd been on his mind since that night. There's so much pressure on us. I guess I just cracked. Everything you and I have done since the plank all over me challenge has been scrutinized under a microscope by new outlookers trying to prove we're dating. When you were leaning in and I saw that camera flash, it's like I could see the headlines already. They're going to have a field day with us, and I hate the thought of this becoming something it's not. Everyone's going to have an opinion, and they're going to try to tear us apart. This is too important to me to let the media screw it up. You're too important. You told Tom how you honestly felt, and it felt great to get it off your chest. He smiled at your honesty and nodded in understanding. Okay, so eliminate the outside pressure. No one's watching us now, are they? It's just you and me. What do you want to happen? He asked with a shrug. You bit your lip and thought about it. I want you to get into a plank. Okay, Elle, anything you say. Wait, what? He asked in confusion. Get in here and get into a plank, you commanded as you stepped aside to let him into your dressing room. Tom gave you a strange look as he walked in. Despite the odd request, Tom obeyed and got into a plank. You wasted no time in getting into a handstand in front of him and recreating the final pose you've done for the video. Elle, as much as I enjoy looking at your beautiful face upside down, why are we doing this? He asked. Because I never thanked you for the incredible date you took me on. You answered simply. Can we have not had this conversation when I'm not holding my entire body weight on my arms? Tom laughed as his face began to redden. Do I get to say thank you this time? You asked coyly. Wait a minute. Tom realized you were quoting Mary Jane Watson during that scene in the original Spider-Man. But you didn't wait. Not this time, not anymore. You kissed Tom upside down in true Spider-Man fashion. His lips fit against yours perfectly, even upside down. The kiss was everything you dreamed it'd be, even if it was on the floor of a dressing room while all the blood in your body rushed to your head. There, you smiled when you pulled apart. You got your kiss. And it only took 2 dates, 2 videos, and about a dozen planks to do so. Tom teased you as you got down from your handstand and laid next to him. Was it worth the wait? You looked up at him and asked. Worth the wait? Absolutely, Tom started. Worth the pulsing ache in my biceps? Maybe. Hey! You lightly smacked his arm. I'm only teasing, Tom grinned before kissing you again. It was even better right side up. Of course it was worth it. I'd do 100 more planks for you. What about 1,000? You asked. Easy, he shrugged. 1,000,000? You continued. Child's play, Tom stated. 1,000,000,000? You asked. You're completely unreasonable. I don't think this is going to work out, Tom said in a monotone voice. Oh no, you laughed into his chest, feeling his heartbeat against your cheek. Please take me back. I'll do anything. Even downward dog? He asked. Are you being fresh? He sat up quickly and Tom's eyes filled with panic, even though you were only joking. No, he was quick to assure you. No, it was a yoga pun, I promise. You pursed your lips at the adorable man in front of you and smiled. You and your innuendos. The listener really said you couldn't even keep all of the 13 colonies. Oh my god! That's so good. I'm sure that has been said before, but I have not heard it, and I was shooketh. My jaw was on the ground. I was like, oh my god, she said that. Oh my god. What? What? Oh my god. I was like, someone called the fire department because Tom Holland was roasted. Oh god, okay. I'm wow. I'm probably I'm enjoying that comeback way too much. I wasn't expecting it. And then she was like, for the other position, she was like, I'll get pregnant. I was like, oh my gosh. You'll get pregnant. You'll get pergant. Pregnant. If you haven't seen the video, please check it out. People can't spell pregnant properly. Okay, guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. It was so fun to make. I'm so sorry it is late. Being completely honest, I was just stressing Sunday. I procrastinated for my English work. I am not a procrastinator. I suck at procrastinating because I argue with myself to just do it anyways. So it's unnecessary stress that I gave myself. So the whole day I was kind of just like, oh my god, it's gonna be due on Wednesday. Oh my god, I'm not even close to being done. And then I actually looked at the work I had to do and I was like, oh, actually I did a lot of it. Alright. Okay, enough about me. Thank you guys so much for watching this. I hope you enjoyed this video, and have a nice day, night, or whenever you're watching this. Bye!